What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you will not regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, this news just broke, like within the last, 23 minutes. And it's some news regarding the Tyre Nichols case. Now, it's minor news, but it's news all the same. Now, today, supposedly, the lawyers are down there in Memphis of the Scorpion team members, mainly the 4 of the 5, Tre'Davious Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Justice Smith. Their attorneys are downtown in Memphis looking over the 300 hours of video information and stuff that was supposed to be released to the public. They got their hands on it, and they're all deciding and talking amongst themselves down there now at the courthouse or whatever. And they're up there talking about what their options are and their strategies moving forward. That's the news. I'm going to play this small excerpt, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about it before we leave up out of here. Check it out.
Good morning and welcome to ABC 24. We start our show today with news straight from the courtroom. Now today, attorneys for the 4 former Memphis police officers charged in the death of Tyre Nichols were in court. Both the defense counsel and the state discussed the evidence they were able to review. Attorneys say each defendant received more than 300 hours of audio and video evidence to look over. Now this morning, all attorneys stated that they were all able to look over most of that evidence that they received a while back. Tre'Davious Bean, Justin Smith, Demetrius Haley, and Emmett Martin III all pleaded not guilty to a list of state charges, including second-degree murder, assault, official misconduct, and kidnapping. They are also facing federal charges in the January 7th traffic stop, and the next report day will be on February 2nd, where the attorneys are required to have officially all of the necessary documents filed for the motion, and this report date comes ahead of both the scheduled federal and state trials happening next year. Meanwhile, the 5th former officer, Desmond Mills Jr., pleaded guilty to all charges after accepting a federal plea deal. And over the weekend, personnel records were released for Demetrius Haley. Those records state both before joining the Memphis Police Department, Demetrius Haley worked as a corrections officer from 2015 to 2020. Now, Haley was accused of violating the department's professionalism, ethics, and conduct policy in 2015, and records show he gave confidential information to an inmate and failed to report when an inmate told him of his intent to smuggle illegal goods.
Okay, guys, that's the news of what's going on right now as we speak, as far as the Tyre Nichols trial and what these lawyers are downtown in Memphis, shout out Memphis, are doing. Now, Saturday, a couple of days ago, I broke a video about the information that came out on Demetrius Haley in those said 300 hours of video and audio. And in addition to that, also his profile, his background profile, employment background, which they named the 3 things that came up that were in the video that I showed before that were quite controversial. Now, this is just him. The other ones have not came out and been made to the public yet, you know, like the one with him. So I think he's the first one in the series of these 4 idiots that, you know, are going to get, you know, roasted in trial. Now, Desmond Mills Jr., I don't know if his lawyer is down there, Blake Ballin, because he's on the side of the prosecution. So he don't have to have no strategy. Plus, he pled guilty in the state and the feds, supposedly. So he's kind of away from this. And he's on the opposite side of the fence, looking over at the same people he committed an atrocity with as well. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. But there are 3 things, guys, that, you know, I'll be down there for the trial next year. There are 3 things that piqued my interest the most in this trial. The first thing is this. I want to see Tre'Davious Bean's lawyer. I want to know what his defense strategy is. Because if you remember back, you know, I think it was in February or March last year when they finally went to court, and for the arraignment, Tadarius Bean's lawyer spoke up and said Tadarius Bean never touched him, when the whole world seen that he fired punches and he grabbed him and held him where he couldn't defend himself against the blows and kicks to the face from other officers. So I want to see what his thing is. And then, like, he's the most controversial. He's the one that said with Robon Wells and the rest of Tyre Nichols' family in there that Tyre was had superhuman strength. He was drunk he was high off of mushrooms. He was drunk and they couldn't control him and excessive force had to be used. He said that with the mother in the courtroom. He also said this, and you guys remember that been sticking with me long enough where we went over these videos, these countless videos I've done. He's also said that because what's this guy's name? Hempfield. Preston Hempfield got exonerated and got taken off the case and excused. How come Tadarius Bean is not excused? Because he didn't quote unquote do anything to Tyre Nichols. See, this is the thing. This guy has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and he's made a lot of statements that he cannot back up because the tape don't lie. And that's the big thing with all of these guys. The tape does not lie, and it's out there for all to see. State of Tennessee said don't give them separate trial. I mean, don't give them separate trials. Trial them as a group. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want it. They wanted separate trial. Remember? City of Memphis washed their hands from him. CJ Davis cut bait soon as she saw the video. These guys got a snowball's chance in HELL of getting out of this. I don't see how it's feasible. They can even get out of it with all of that information before the traffic stop. I mean, before he was assaulted, when he was put on a run, after he was beaten within yards of his house, and then what they were talking about after that. Ain't no escaping this. Ain't no escaping. That's the first thing I want to see. Tadarius Bean's lawyer, how he get out of this. You can't say you can't recant the statements because it's video on you in court saying the same thing. And the public and the media is going to tear you up when you get out there. Especially me. I got my media pass. I hope I can get close enough to him to ask him questions because I'm going to ask the right stuff. For real. Second thing is this, Desmond Mills Jr. I want to see what his cooperative testimony or his cooperation, what they're going to ask him to do, especially with the feds, because the feds, they'll wring every drop out of you. They don't care about how you look or whatever. If they want information, they want you to do something, you will do it, ladies and gentlemen. This guy right here, y'all might say, oh, he took a deal, might be a sweet deal, but he might look a certain way. Well, worse than he looking now. He might be just ruined after this whole thing because they'll put you head to head with people you laughed, ate lunch with, kicked ass with. And you got to sit there and say, he did it. And in court, this is how they do you. This make it even worse. You can't just say the name. They make you point at the person. And you got to look them in their face when you point and said it was you that did it. That's demoralizing as a man. Obviously, he's built for that. You signed them papers. He stood up there with his lawyer. Yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see. But this type of stuff, when you're in the courtroom, you got to do it. It plays a heavy psychological strain on you. And I'm going to see if he can hold up. And I'm going to also basically, like I said, see what they're going to have him do and have him say. We'll see. That's the second thing I'm really anxious in the scene. This third and final thing, there are other things, but I just don't want to drag this video on. I'm going to see Emmett Martin's excuse when they're showing the video of what he was thinking and why he thought that the force he used against Tyre Nichols and apprehending him had to be so damn excessive. I mean, I would love to hear him in his own mind. They're going to show that video. And he's going to probably have to talk through it. And I want them to explain this. They're going to stop it and start. That's why I think his when he's in court, it's going to take the longest. Because they're going to have to stop and start the film. What were you thinking here? What were you thinking there? Two people going to go back and forth to lawyers and this and that. It's going to be something. I don't think this trial is going to be quick. I mean, At the most, it would be, I mean, at the least 3 weeks. But I think this might drag on for months. It might. And no matter if it does or not, I'll periodically, because I'm 9 hours away from Memphis, time permitting, I'll periodically jump in and out between Houston and Memphis to give you guys the best coverage I can. Because I mean, you know, this channel, part of this channel, you know, a lot of my videos is about Tyre Nichols. You know, you guys know that you Google his name, I pop up. I'm very vested in the case. And, you know, I'm going to give y'all everything I got in regards to this. I mean, he deserves that. And a lot of other cases that I'll cover deserve that. You know, not just reporting one time on it, because sometimes cases like this and things that, you know, happen to people where it could pretty well have been me or you, it's bigger than views. It's bigger than clicks. It's bigger than thumbs up. It's bigger than subscribers. This man is no longer here to see things through, but his family is. He still needs a voice on the internet. I try to provide that voice for him and many other folks that are out here that are not here to speak their piece. I hope you guys understand that. Justice for Tyre Nichols, and I hope his family can get some type of closure and feeling of justice after this whole thing is over. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. They go back to court in February. We might not see these guys no more. It'll just be the lawyers going back and forth, filing motions and stuff, which they're doing in February, and we'll take it from there and see where it goes. And as always, I'll be right here reporting on it. See you in the next video. Take care.